So let's just see how it flies stock. I'll do my standard sort of things. Feels okay. Let's see how the eye gain is. So we got a big arm drop there on the throttle chop. It's pretty good except when I do like a full chop to idle. Yeah, you can see it there. So I think we'll raise roll eye gain to address that. Let's see some flips and rolls. Pretty good there. Let's try again. Nice sharp stop. No bounce back that I could see. Little bounce there when I'm rough on the stick. We're getting some prop wash oscillation. Little bounce there as well. So we're getting some prop wash oscillation and a little bit of bounce. There's some prop wash there. So it feels like we need to raise the D gain a little. It feels like we need to raise the D gain a little bit, and that'll help address the prop wash oscillation for sure, and also probably help a little bit with the little bounce at the end of flips and rolls. So that arm dip really, I felt like it was mostly on roll. I didn't really see any yaw. So let's raise roll eye gain from 40 up to 50. And just because I tend to like eye gain a little higher, I like a little stiffer flying copter, let's also raise pitch eye gain from 50, let's say, to 55. I didn't see anything really in the flight characteristics that would demand that. I just have a feeling I'm going to like it better that way. And then the D gain, I find Betaflight's D gains to be very conservative for most copters. The motors aren't coming down hot, so I usually like to raise D gain. I feel comfortable raising it to about 35 on both pitch and roll. And we're going to leave the P gains where they are, and we will save that and see how that flies. Let's see if we fix the prop wash at all. You can see, you could almost hear a little bit of the motors oscillating there, but you don't see it. This copter is already flying much smoother in those turns. And no prop wash there. The nose did come up when I punched the throttle. Let's watch the throttle chop and see if it's gotten any better. Seems like it's a little better. I didn't chop really hard. Let's try again. Yeah, no, that was a hard chop and it was much better. Still not quite as good as I would like it though. Let's do a flip and a roll. Pretty good. Let's do a flip now. Hard to tell. I think there might have been a little bounce there. A little hard to tell. No, yeah, it can't do much if you end up looking at the sky, can you? Little bounce there. Pretty good. Some prop wash there, but I don't feel too bad about that. Let's try and fix the eye gains a little bit more. So we're still seeing some strong movement of the nose on throttle movement. So I'm going to raise the eye gains some more because I really don't like that. We were seeing a lot of movement on the nose of pitch. I'm going to take pitch eye gain up to 70. I'm going to make a big jump here. I'm going to raise pitch D gain because it felt like there was more bounce back on pitch than on roll. I should be checking the motors to see that they're not coming down hot, and they're not, although I should really check them as soon as I land. I'll try to remember to do that this time. We'll go to 45 on pitch D and 70 on pitch I. Let's check, do a throttle punch. Still seeing the nose climb a little. I think we've improved things though. I'm not sure how much better we're going to get this, but it's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. To fix that some more, we might raise I, but we also might raise P. And I'm worried that by raising P, I'll bring out prop wash. Let's see how it looks like in a real turn. So here I go into the turn, I cut throttle. It's not too noticeable during a real turn. Prop wash feels good. We are getting a bounce there. Not so bad on roll. Pretty good on roll. I feel like roll is pretty good. I think in playback you'll be able to see that bounce. It's a little hard to tell on the FPV. The other thing I like to do is raise yaw P. I'll check my motors here when I land. The other thing I like to do is raise yaw P to sharpen up the turning just on principle. I might try that. Let's check the motors here. The motors are just bordering on warm but not hot, so I feel like I'm okay for my D gains. Okay, so what let's do, let's, I'm going to take yaw P up to 100, because I usually like the way a copter flies better with a little more yaw P gain. That's just something, I feel thing. There's nothing really telling me to do that. I think the copter will feel like it turns in more precisely on turns. And then on pitch, I'm going to try raising the pitch P gain to 65 and see if that improves the ability to hold the attitude of the nose on throttle punches. Canonically, that's an I gain thing, but the more of the job the P gain does, the less the job the I term has to pick up. So if we raise the P gain, the P term will do a better job of keeping the nose where it needs to be on throttle punches, and the I term will then have less to do. The downside is that it will bring out more prop wash oscillation, and we may need more D gain then to deal with. But since the motors are cool, we could probably afford that. So, pitch P gain to 65, yaw P gain to 100. Betaflight gives you pretty wide latitude to play with your P gains without bringing out any bad behaviors, so you can pretty much tune P for feel, mostly. See, I already like the feel of the turns better. The copter feels more precise in turns, but you can see prop wash oscillation has come out. But it already feels better in the turns, I'll tell you what. Oh yeah, much better in the turns. It's tracking much more precisely in the turns. I like it a lot better. How about our flips? Nah, we got a softer bounce there, didn't we? That was a sort of a slower, softer bounce as opposed to a sharp bounce. No, I think we've definitely increased the size of the bounce. The bounce is bigger and slower, or softer, you could say. So I'm going to put the P gain back where it was. There was nothing else that was demanding that I raise the P gain on pitch. Maybe we lower it a little. The other thing I could do is I could raise the D gain. I could start to raise the D gain a lot more, but I kind of don't want to go crazy on the D gain. And I don't feel like the copter needs to be flying like sharper with higher P gains, so I don't feel like there's any incentive to keep the P gain higher. So let's put it back down. Let's put it to 50. We'll go the other direction. We'll take it back down, and we won't change anything else. Let's see how that affects our flip. See, there's a sharp bounce there with the lower P. I think that's better than it was. And as far as handling goes, see, our prop wash oscillation is better too, isn't it? There's less prop wash oscillation with the lower P gain. So I feel like overall that's better. Let's see if we raise D a little more. Does the flip get better? So we're going to raise pitch D now to 55. It's the only change we're going to make. I'm definitely hearing that skidding as the motors try to handle the prop wash. We're definitely starting to feel the effects of the D gain now. Let's see how the flip is. I'd say that's an improvement. I'd say that's pretty good. I think we've made things better. I can hear the motors starting to shudder, and that sort of skittery sound as the motors handle the prop wash, the aerodynamic situation of the prop wash. I don't think I want to raise D anymore. Yeah. Yeah, the copter's just a little less smooth in the turns now than it was. I think it's fighting itself. I think we should bring it in. We're at like 14.5, 14.6. Yeah, let's bring it in and land it. We're starting to exhibit some characteristics where I'm not sure I want to raise D anymore. The copter has gone from the motors, you can kind of hear the motors working in the turn, but the copter is still smooth, to now you're starting to get kind of a skittering sound in the turns. And if we keep going up with D, it's going to get harder and harder to tune and get things exactly in balance. So I don't want to take D any higher, and in fact it might be better to get it a little lower, just to give ourselves a little safety margin, because this copter is designed for everybody to fly, not just for people who are experts at tuning. So we don't want to give somebody a copter that's tuned right to the edge and then have something go wrong and have it, it'd be a problem for them. We'd rather give up a little bit of performance in exchange for a little bit of safety and general applicability. I'm going to put the pitch D gain down to 50. And I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to raise the roll. With the roll being that low relative to the pitch, I feel like the roll can probably come up a little, and we'll see if that gives us a little better handling. I'm going to put the roll at 40. We'll leave roll at 35. I'll come back to this having mostly got the pitch axis locked in. Okay, pitch axis is mostly locked in. We'll come back to the roll axis and maybe look at the I gain again next time. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to raise the I gain on pitch a little more because I feel like the nose is still moving unacceptably. and I don't want to raise the D gain on pitch any higher than 50. My gut tells me that if I raise it higher than 50, some people are going to get in trouble with it. So I'm going to leave that alone. And then on roll, I'm going to try raising roll P gain to see how it affects the feel of the copter, and see if I like that any better. Oh, just disconnected. Let's try that again. So we're going to take I gain from 70 to 80 on pitch. We're going to take roll P gain from 43 to 50. And I can't help but notice that roll P and pitch P are now the same. I guess since this is a pure X copter, that's not inherently problematic. Normally I would think that was a little unusual and be suspicious of it. With that done, let's fly again. I got more up tilt too. I took the up tilt to 35. Let's see how I feel about that. The copter feels better, I think. The nose is way better on these throttle punches. Still some movement there, but mostly good. I'm reasonably happy with that. Oh, I feel pretty good about this. This is feeling all right. Let's see flips and rolls. No prop wash, really. I think this is pretty good. I'm gonna call this, and I'm gonna land somehow. Okay, I cannot tune this anymore with the sun this low in the sky. It's impossible. So, here we go. Definitely got some oscillation there. Now it feels like it's flying more like a racer though. Definitely getting some D-term oscillation, but it does feel more like it's flying like a racer now. Motors are not hot at all. Motors are not hot at all, so we're going to conclude that the D is probably okay. Let's bring up let's raise the P. Let's check flips and rolls actually. Before I go screwing with the P gains, let's check flips and rolls to see how our stops are. I think that's almost the best way to assess P and V gain in Betaflight 3.0 and above. Since prop wash oscillations and other behaviors are really subjective in Betaflight 3, you can kind of really have a wide range of potentially good values. Let's do some flips and rolls. Rolls are better than flips. Definitely getting some twitch there. And hearing oscillations, D-term oscillations. But this is a racer, not an acrocopter. A lot of D-term oscillations. A lot of them. I'm just hearing them all over the place. Even though this is a racer and so some additional oscillation may be tolerable, I don't like hearing it. It doesn't sound healthy. It doesn't feel healthy for the copter. I'm going to lower the D just a little bit. And I anticipate that that's going to make the bounce after flips worse. Let's take them, let's just mess with the pitch axis and take D down to 45, leaving P alone. Let's see if that clears up some of the oscillations. It's really just a process of trial and error when you don't have black box or when you're working in the field. So just change one axis and see if the oscillations get better, and if so, that was what was causing it. Yeah, so here I'm getting prop wash oscillations, but not the sort of crickety D-term sound. That's okay. For a racer, I'll take prop wash oscillations, but I don't want to hear that sort of cricket-like D-term oscillation. That's pretty good here. I think we're getting there. Oh gosh, I gotta land. The dog is coming because he hears me clapping. Thinks I'm calling him. You can see how the motor's like that. See if they're hot. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, they're all hot. I think we're pretty close here.